Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mall Talkers. I'm Michael Pascott, aka the Mall Guy, and this is the show where retail and mall pros come to talk some shop. In 30 minutes or less, I'm bringing you conversations from the strategists, the operators, and innovators driving the evolution of malls today. You'll leave with tactics, stories, and trends shaping what malls were, where they've been, and what they're becoming. So pull up a chair, grab a coffee, and let's chat some malls. Today, I've got a very special guest, a very good friend from a long time, the CEO of Satisfi Labs, Donny White. And today we're talking, is there an AI agent revolution happening in the malls today? Donny, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate your time today.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you. How are you doing? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, what you've done, who you are for the listeners?
Yeah, our company, Satisfi Labs, we are an AI agentic platform. Now, we've been at this for almost 10 years. So my partner and I actually go back to algorithmic trading design, Wall Street days. So applying mathematics and machine learning to trading. We then applied it to language, and it's evolved into the LLM adoption that you see today. We focus on destinations and experiences, so anything from a mall. But most likely the person visiting the mall has gone to a concert, a ski resort, a zoo, an aquarium, sporting event. And now we're working with DMOs across the country as well to make their cities more intelligent from an AI perspective. So a lot of data comes into our shop about who's looking for what and how they're trying to experience their locations.
So you know a thing or two, maybe, like if at best.
I mean, I can read a thing or two when my AI can. But yeah, I've
So
had
you prompt
experience,
well.
yes. I also have 3 daughters who tell me I know nothing. So that's a daily occurrence too.
That's fair. I think the quote is at 16, my parents knew nothing. And then at 21, I realized my parents knew everything. And how did they learn everything in the world in those 5 years?
I need you to talk to her, which yeah, for sure.
Put me in touch. So, starting off with the questions, you've obviously been in the space for a long time. I've been dealing with venue experiences for a long time. We've seen all the evolutions from COVID to post-COVID to the AI boom that's currently going on. From your perspective, how has the guest experience at a mall or entertainment venue changed over the past 5 or 10 years? And what are the shoppers expecting now that they didn't really see before or expect before?
We were super early. I mean, 2016 we started the company, and the first comment I got was, well, if people really want to ask questions at a location, they'll just ask Google. And
Google it.
our thesis was, well, this is more of a bottom-up physical location experience thing. The content was different. Google's top-down. We were bottom-up. They said, well, this is a terrible idea. I said, great, we'll try it anyway. When Google became our largest investor a couple of years later and joined the board, it was kind of a nice, like,
Validation
kind of
point.
is.
Yep.
And so now I think what you're seeing is the difference between then was a lot of phrases. Search was in a phrase format. You were keyword searching.
Mhm.
That's how you're trained to use Google. As the LLMs and the chat apps are becoming more popular, you have more conversational
Mhm.
interest. So our like words per query went from like 3 to 4 to like 20 to 22 words. And the interaction went from a single query answer. Now we're averaging 3 because there's a follow-up or a suggestion that drives them down. So the biggest change has really been the expectation that
Mhm.
I can now digitally interact with every location because ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you use is kind of telling me that should be possible.
Yeah, and I'm actually seeing that the same. Over the past, like the expectation of shoppers would just input into Google pants at Conestoga Mall, no definition, and then they kind of go through their discovery journey. What we're seeing now, and where malls aren't as prepared, is consumers or shoppers are now being trained to ask the question size 30 pants that are green at the Conestoga Mall location or this general area to be hyper specific, which is throwing people for a loop.
Yeah, I actually built some models around that. We worked with, I mean, publicly with Target in the past. We launched nationally with Macy's, one of our first
Well done.
customers. So we've done a lot of different things. If I were looking at the mall space specifically, because the sports arenas have a similar problem. I can watch or absorb the content from my home, just like I could buy from my home. But what makes the experience richer? And then how do you make the digital experience even more rich that the physical attendance is required? So if you look at Major League Baseball, another one of our investors, they're like, no, the baseball game is where you need to be. And we're going to digitize the mobile app and the phone and the access so that you get all the stuff you think you get online, but also in person. That's where the mall, I think, and my daughters love the mall, is although they can buy, and I can have an Amazon box. I literally have an Amazon box at my doorstep every day.
I'm sure. Same.
But they like the touching and holding and trying on and browsing and the social aspect of it. So their expectation is I want all the digital and the physical. One of our partners calls it phygital, the phygital experience.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And when I'm seeing like the physical side of things, the touching, feeling, the window shopping, it's becoming a part of the journey to purchase. Like people are still using e-commerce, as our front doorstep is saying with the Amazon boxes, but people are looking online, asking agents to do the discovery so that way it becomes worth their trip, and then finding out more of what to do now that they are at that location.
Yeah, you brought up the pants example. So one thing we started doing, like in itinerary building, is super popular, especially in the DMO space, but then also for major sports events. Like, hey, I'm coming with my family, where can I grab dinner before? Or I'm coming with my friends, where should I go for drinks after? And where should I park in lieu of the proximity to that? And in the airport space, which I know you know well, it's, hey, is there a Starbucks near the gate that I'm doing? So this, like, tell me kind of my whole world. The pre-trip planning is probably the greatest digital entry point for a mall. Because if I live near Roosevelt Field, which is Simon Mall, if I go there, I would love to at least know, hey, are there any sales going on at the J. Crew? If I don't think they have J. Crew anymore, but they did at one point. At the wherever. And then to your point, once you have me there, on location experiences or on location digitization, visuals even, that's what keeps me there. Whereas in language, it's just a one-line suggestion. In a mall, you have a lot of physical opportunity to change my next direction.
Definitely. And touching and going a little bit deeper into this, like you mentioned big sporting events. One of the things that we are aware of is the FIFA World Cup. That's happening. That's coming up soon. You guys obviously do a lot of work in the stadium space. How do you see that working or intermingling between the two industries? Because there's going to be an influx of people going to these games. They're likely going to want their itinerary because they've never been to like MetLife Stadium, and across the street is American Dream, but they don't know what to do there. How do you see that?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is trying to control the content and the partnership between locations around the World Cup. So like you said, we work with 300 sports teams and another 150 arenas and stadiums. So we will be engaged at some point with I believe every match at one level or another. Yeah. So, but when people ask the arena or ask the location, do they know about what's going on at the American Dream? Now you could say, well, ChatGPT knows. Okay, but then no one knows who that user is. Like, there's no, like, American Dream is not getting an idea of who that is. Physical locations should partner together more, knowing that their user, or I say user, it's like horribly technical, but their buyer, their visitor is the same. So like we work with MetLife, let's say, and if we work with American Dream, we could create promotions for the fan that goes to the World Cup to say, oh, by the way, if you're looking to do something after, before the game, or while you're here, here's what's going on at the American Dream. That's an easy content layer. But I think the physical locations need to do some partnerships amongst themselves to refer each other. You see some of that, but on a data side, it's not there.
I would agree. And from what you're seeing or what you're experiencing, like what does a shopper, or what do you think they would actually ask the AI agents that they wouldn't ask guest services?
You know what's really funny? When you talk to a person, you have a certain command of their time that's usually one question. Like if I
Well,
walk
that's
up to
fair.
you,
Yep.
there's a certain time I think that you owe me for your
Yep.
job, which is usually, hey, could you tell me where this is? And then and you're not my friend. So even a follow up is usually the walk away, like the
Yep.
Embo, by the way, like but an AI is something that is we used to call it like a buddy.
Yep.
Like it's like I said, on average, it's 3 in the first. We can have as many as 12 or 14 during a 2-hour trip
Yep.
because once you start, mostly the pre-trip, which is that walk up to guest services, hey, do you have this? That's usually early in your visit. But then 25 minutes later, you're wondering if, hey, is that cinnamon pretzel smell? Where is that, or how far is that?
Cinnabon.
Hey, is
Yep.
there a really cool map somewhere? Is there something on my phone I can navigate to? Where is that smell?
Yep.
So that's where the digital should take over and the engagement will go up. Still think people are important. I think there is an audience that needs to see that the business cares enough about their presence to staff it. I believe in that. I also believe there's an on-ramp to the digital, so both are important.
Yep. That's really funny because in the example, it's kind of a silly example, but the self-checkout in a grocery store against in a line, like I always feel guilty when I'm trying to pay with cash or doing my card and like I have to grab all my bags when someone's behind me and I kind of have to scurry away behind that. As opposed to self-checkout, I'm taking my time, like I don't care. It's like the comparison is there's this like social credit or social capital that you have, and when it's a stranger, you have basically one tick. Where when it's in the digital side of things, you can spend like that is specific to you. That time is yours. You can do what you want within there, and it's personalized towards you.
I also find that the cashier by my grocery is super judgy. Like the other day, I was listen, you buy what you buy. IPAs,
Yeah, good choice.
marshmallows,
Good choice.
a turkey. That was another thing. And like flowers. And the person's kind of like looking at my thing like, what is wrong with you? Like, how does a turkey, IPAs, marshmallows, and
That sounds delicious.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was a Friday night, but
Yeah.
so to your point, what AI also does is it takes away a lot of the pretense. Hey,
Yep.
where is the cheapest place I can take my family of 5 for dinner?
Guilty.
You really don't ask a person that. You'd say, hey, what's the most like family friendly place? But and then there's allergies that go into it. You also have to keep in mind that the human person cannot know the depth
Mhm.
of what a person really needs to know, which is like, do they have gluten-free pasta? Dietary queries around food are so high.
Mhm.
We were actually just studying, one of the leagues has a super high kosher request. Like that's one of the leagues. Don't need to get into who because I haven't asked them yet. But yeah, super popular interest that there's one league that has certain dietary restriction. So, but I also think from a mall, everyone wants to know their customer.
Yep.
This is the fastest way. Like without me sending you a survey, without me doing anything, I know how many kids you have. I kind of get a feel for their ages. I know why you're here. I know what you're trying to do. I know what disappointed you. Hey, do you have J. Crew? Oh, J. Crew just left. Oh my God, I'm devastated.
Yep.
So like that data that the locations are getting is super phenomenal. I won't say it's always being used well
Fair.
because then it has to go get into the marketing ecosystem and applied, but it's there and it'll get, now with Claude and these tools, it's going to be much easier to use it than it was.
Absolutely. And my gripe with surveys, and I've talked about this on other shows, is like the surveys are somewhat subjective, even though what's being said is objective. Typically, because if someone's doing a survey, there's an incentive which sways one way or another, or it's either a really good experience or a really bad experience. So you have difficulty finding this like middle ground that the different agents can help to prepare or to help to gather like what is actually people looking for, what are they searching for, or like what's going on in this day.
You've said you hate surveys before.
Maybe
Are
not
you
hate, but yeah,
anti-survey? Okay, you're negative on the survey.
I'm usually a negative.
I just want to see if I could align or if it was controversial. I've always asked, are the people that spend the most money filling out the surveys?
Probably not.
Like that's been like doubtful. I would just say, What we do at our company is we try to get a survey token or moment from their previous question. Like if they say, "Oh, hey, this is what I'm looking for," is that your favorite? So when you think about what's the value of 20 questions, I've had a lot of good conversations about what's the value of one very tactical data point that I now know something about you that's so specific and unique that I should be able to use that to market. Like if you love Coke Zero and I know your, I don't know, whatever gender, age, family dynamic, that alone starts to build me a what I should suggest to you. We actually work with an NFL team that has, many of them do this. Personas. Do you see that? Okay, so there's six fans.
Yep.
And I'm a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. Everybody in sports knows that.
Sorry,
but I know. And so I think I'm one of them, which is like the believer. Like
my dad too. I grew up with
it. So I'm a believer.
Yeah.
But we started testing ideas with our technology about if I identify you as a certain persona visitor type, I will shift the conversation. Like let's say you're going to the mall to make TikToks.
Yep.
I would shift your journey differently. You're going to the mall to shop for your family's Christmas. You're going to the mall to just spend and waste time because you have a loud house and the mall's quieter than having 3 girls at home, let's just say. So we should also shift it and identify like what your goal is up top, not just on who you are, but what you're saying. And that persona shifting or application is pretty cool to watch how engagement goes up.
That's fascinating because I would much rather have one pinpointed, hyper accurate piece of data point than like 10 questions that I feel obligated I have to answer and I'm not going to probably answer as accurately.
Yeah, but the challenge is that's not how the systems are built right now.
Not at all.
So in an example, like I had a dialogue the other day with major entertainment company.
Yep.
Yeah, but we're built on impressions.
Cease.
And you're like, well, what's the thing where someone says, I want tickets to see unknown artist, and unknown artist puts you in a certain category, and a follow-up question of, well, do you know this artist which is coming to your venue, and would you like tickets to that event? What's the value of that?
Yep.
And they go, we don't know what that is. Like, okay, but it's something. And I said, so you're telling me if they click a picture on your Instagram, which could be the item, the celebrity, the color, the random mindless scroll, any of those things mean something, but this pointed conversation data point, you don't know what to call it. I said, that would frustrate me, but I'm kind of a data oriented person, a group in finance. So I just struggle with, I think, the lack of business opportunities that are executed on the data. And like I said, I'm pre-OpenAI. So I had someone the other night at a going away party for someone who's leaving the industry say, I remember when you were pitching AI and we all thought we had no idea what you were talking about. You must feel good now. I go, no, I'm not rich enough to feel good. I didn't build OpenAI or I'd be really good, but I'm happy to be in the space.
Yeah. I mean, I think even like my first conversation with you 5 or 6 years ago, like it was new to me. I had no idea what that is. Like we're obviously still talking, so thank you for entertaining me.
Well, it's the mustache that keeps me loyal.
That's new. It's the past year. With great power comes great responsibility. So
it's not even Movember for you. It's a real commitment. Like you're doing this on purpose.
Yes. The joke was a year or 2 ago, I did it for Movember and then I shaved it off and I went out of the bathroom and my wife was like, ew, like, no, put that back. and I've had it ever since, which is like not probably how it should be.
If you had an AI agent, she would tell it, please encourage him every morning at 8 a.m. to shave it. So she don't have to damage the relationship, but could still get her point across.
Exactly. Can you build that agent for me?
I would, but it's a lot. It costs a lot.
That's okay. Well, I'll negotiate a little bit. So talking about all the good stuff, what are some of the edge cases that you've seen that probably are tripping people up within agents?
The hardest thing to overcome is how easy it is to build a demo.
Yep.
And that's become like the thing where every company, I mean, there's some big brands and small brands, has a technical person who might have some capability to create something.
Yep.
And so even in the last 12 months, I had a lot of dialogues where one of our clients, let's say, said, well, I built something like what you have. And I said, okay, well, what does that mean? And so one of the big mistakes, I think, is the difference between, hey, I can show you something internally, we can play with it, to this thing is going to protect my brand and potentially have an X posted if it's responded odd, or how is the data grounded? The biggest, I think, challenge right now is actually the data being in an available format that can be accessed. So we work with companies that typically either we have to do data moderation or they have to do data development so that the agent can actually be good. But 80% of the time when they're saying, well, the agent's not living up to my expectations, it's usually because it can't access the knowledge or the next steps it needs. It's rarely actually in today's world because it doesn't know what to do. We did have a situation years ago where a certain, we'll call it, it was actually about a sensory sensitivity at a concert, and the person said, well, I have this sensory sensitivity, like what can you do for me here? And the AI at the time misinterpreted it as a temporary condition versus a permanent condition. And it was like, oh, well, since that's a temporary condition, we don't offer anything. And the person was like, what? And so when you think about the maintenance and the oversight of it is still very time consuming. Like I have 40 people that all day are trying to find these little edge cases, like you say. So that is the hard part. The data orientation, keeping the brand protected, and moderation, maintenance, and supervision is still a big part of the business.
It's so true, because a lot of my conversations just in the mall space, the mapping space, it's like, oh, well, I can do that. It's like, fine, yes, you can. Like building things has never been easier. Building things that can execute, that are scalable, that are protecting, that are like and that a normal enterprise would want is still very difficult. Because like, why not, if you build something on your own and that agent, you ask, hey, can I bring a knife into this mall and use it? Could be interpreted as, yeah, there's a knife shop over here, feel free to go there and use it. It's like those questions can come up, and if you say that, you are now at risk. As
well, we have
the right thing.
It's funny you brought that one up because we have a venue where obviously weapons are not permitted because
I've heard the story.
But we also, there was a rodeo one night. And on Tuesday night, you can bring a knife. And apparently, if you're a cowboy, you all have knives. And so
it's expected.
Another thing with the data is the timing of when it's active or inactive. So on any physical experience, Tuesday might be different than Thursday. And typically content can get stale. Yes, even if you rescrape your website, websites are slow to update. We've actually had a lot of situations where the AI pulled from the website and the person goes, well, that's not right. And we go, well, it's on your website and it was hidden or not hard to find in some page underneath. I think that like awakening of, oh my goodness, so all of my content is now conversational, accessible. One of the DMOs had like, what's the best happy hours? And had left 2 blogs up, one from last year, one from this year. The old blog had a bar that had closed. But you rarely go back and really,
never do.
troll through your stuff to figure it out. But it's getting better. I think people are getting a lot better with it.
I definitely would agree within that. So one of the last questions, what would you say like mall venues or just venues in general, if they're not using AI agents in this time period, where are they at risk for? Are they going to fall behind? Is this something they should very seriously consider and start doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts internally. I mean, sometimes I've met with a lot of companies that the first agent adoption was an internal optimization because that then raised the expectation for the shopper or visitor. Discoverability is the hardest thing usually. How do I let you know, whether it's your website, if you have an app, or there was some stuff on social media. I haven't seen that. done so much.
Yeah.
We've done custom GPTs for people, which also require a QR code, and then you're kind of shielded from the data. So you have to get into it quickly. The most important thing, though, is your data stack. Like, your agent will upset you, disappoint you. The last project we just launched was a performance console, which is, there's nothing magic about it. We created business outcomes so that we could show our clients, hey, does the agent do anything? Because a lot of times you'll hear, whether it's malls or others, I need an agent. And I go, to do what? Like, is it going to bring shoppers more? You want to get more data? You want to increase your service level? You want to sell more? You want to increase visitors? But there should be a metric that's not, I want to fire people. I get into that dialogue often. If the agents are good, you're able to make more people happy and have more visitors, and they should buy more. I'm not so into this like cut jobs mantra. I think half those news stories are trash. I think they just wanted to eliminate costs, but AI should make your business grow, not just save you money.
I would agree. And for how many times I've heard, oh, I need a map. It's like, what for? Like, yes, there's Wayfind. There's a myriad of other things. So that's more of an event. I'd be a very rich man, though, if I had a nickel for every time.
I need a map when I get to the mall. It's too, well, I got to find my kids. Like, where are they? It's not even about where I am.
They're getting the Amazon package on the front doorstep.
I literally got one at 9 o'clock last night. They go all night now. Like, it's 4 a.m. and I think 10 p.m. Dogs are freaking out. I thought, I grew up in Brooklyn. I thought I was being robbed last night. It was Amazon dropping off granola. Like, it was pretty phenomenal.
I'm up very early, like 4:20, 4:30. And 5 o'clock, I hear just a thump on the front door. So I'm like, what's that?
You got it 4:20 on purpose?
I've got 3 kids, 3 young kids as well. Yep. It's my time to do stuff.
Oh, not me. My oldest is 23. So I'm on she's getting in at like 4. Like, it's opposite wake up.
Yeah, so there's the light at the end of the tunnel for me, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, there is, for sure.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for being on this. I appreciate your time. Are there any last remarks you want to say before we shut her down?
Yeah, the only thing is, I think, as you think about phygital, etc., it's also not watching the mall space. It's watching the spaces around the mall, because we get a lot of, hey, I saw this somewhere else. Like, I'm at a ski resort, or there's another random one, a theme park. And people are starting to have the same flat expectation of now everything being serviceable in the same way.
Yep.
So if you're in the mall space, comparing yourself to other malls, I don't think is actually the best thing. What are the high visited POIs around you, and what are they doing? That's where I think you're actually going to capture your visitor, because demographically, geographically, there's different layers. But I think you just start to see that become very common now.
That's fascinating. I'm stealing that. That is,
it's your thing. This is your show.
Yes. Just figured I'd let you know. Perfect. Well, thank you again for the time. Thank you to the Mall Talkers for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.